Keep this show going strong. Good Monday morning, Central Georgia. You're taking a live look over the city of Dublin. The time is now 6:31 a.m. here on this January the 9th. Thank you so much for continuing to stay with us. I'm Wanye Reese. Obviously, we have a huge game tonight. Go Dogs, right? And you're probably wondering how's the weather going to look here at home and also in California. Alex has us covered with that.
Yeah, good morning, Wanye. Waking up to 40s and 50s across Central Georgia this morning. 45 in Forsyth and Thomaston, 50 here in Macon, 42 in Monticello. I do think we'll drop a few more degrees before the morning is over. Also looking at fog on a few spots, especially down in Cordele over towards Eastman. And as I was driving in over the Ocmulgee River this morning, I saw some fog as well. So sporadic across Central Georgia this morning as much cooler and drier air is sitting just off to our northwest. That will filter in through the day today, keeping our high temperature just a bit cooler than we were yesterday. I expect we get up to about 60 degrees. Average high for this time of year is 59, so roughly right on average. Much of the day will be spent in the 50s, though, as sunrise comes your way right around 7:38 this morning. And as Wanye mentioned, the governor has declared it hunker down day here in Central Georgia. So coming up in a few minutes, we will talk about our weather and how it is much better here in Central Georgia than in Southern California today. Yes, you heard me correctly, much better, but we do have rain on the way for midweek. Sprinkles Wednesday night, more rain for Thursday, and for Thursday, I'm thinking we could potentially have a severe weather threat. With that, we'll be talking much more about that coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Alex. We'll talk soon. Georgia went so long without a championship, 41 seasons before winning it last year. Now they have a chance to win 2 in a row in the 2023 National Championship game between Georgia and Texas Christian University. This morning, we'll be breaking down what you need to know ahead of the big game. Well, tonight's the night, the national championship in Los Angeles between Georgia and TCU. And our sports team will be there for all of it. Marvin and Connor touched down in LA last week to bring you coverage. So let's go ahead and take a look at how they got there.
Good morning, Central Georgia. It is just after 2:30 in the morning on Friday. Let's go to LA. Rock and roll. You get any sleep?
An hour and a half. Not too bad.
Go Dogs. All right, we made it to the airport in Atlanta. Marv, ready to go?
Yes, sir.
We'll be in Denver and then on to LA. Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived. All right, Marv, wasn't easy, but we finally made it. How's it feel?
I'm excited, man. The weather is beautiful out here. It looks like everybody is just getting acclimated and stuff inside, so I'm excited, bro.
We'll talk to you guys tonight.
Looks like they had a safe trip. Now we are just hours away from kickoff in the championship game between the Dogs and the Horned Frogs. Our team spoke with the team rep earlier in the weekend, and he told us at SoFi Stadium, aside from eating some good food, Georgia has pretty much stayed away from the fun and games of this week in LA. So it's clear to see how serious and in the zone Georgia is for this trip. Kirby Smart spent the past year building towards this moment.
You know, it doesn't start when the season starts. It starts Tuesday when the season ends. At the end of the day, you better have buy-in with your players, and I think the older I've gotten, the more I acknowledge the relationship with the player matters much more than maybe the play you call, than maybe the practice habit you create or anything else. It's will those players play hard for each other, and do they believe in their coaching staff, that their coaching staff cares for them, and that allows you to sustain.
Many UGA Bulldog fans are out in California for the game, but of course many more are back home cheering them on. Sam Cohen has been a UGA fan for 69 years. Cohen says he and his wife have been to nearly every single Bulldogs game in the past 25 years. That includes home and away games, and They've only missed 5 games. Cohen says they don't travel anymore, but they still know how to throw a good party at home.
A lot of eating, a lot of food, a lot of pregame talk, and then a lot of shh while the game's going on, because I want to hear the game. It just is a way of life for us. We're going through something that's historic, and we're trying to enjoy every minute of it.
Don't y'all be running your mouths when that game is on in his house. Now, Cohen used to own a home team sports store inside the Macon Mall. It was dedicated to selling UGA gear. They closed back in 2014, but Cohen says his love for the Bulldogs is still strong. Across the state, Governor Brian Kemp is also rooting on the Dogs. He proclaimed today Hunker Down Day in the state, inviting everyone to wear red and black. Kemp signed the proclamation Sunday morning ahead of the college football playoff national championship game in Los Angeles. The governor did the same last year when the Dogs faced the Crimson Tide for the 2022 title game in Indianapolis. So let's take a look at how some other Central Georgia fans are celebrating their Bulldog pride. Sammy Minifield is ready to share his lobster meal with fellow Dog fans. The Dixon family from Dublin ready for today's game. Go Dogs, we love to see it. Zayden and granddad Edward showing their spirited looks. And Patricia and her granddaughter Madison Day of Jones County say we're #1. Go Dogs. Thank you so much for sharing those photos with us. Here at 13 WMAZ, we are so pumped for this game, and we know y'all are too. So as we get ready for the national championship, we want to see your Bulldog pride. Send us your photos and your UGA gear throughout the week so we can show them off. Text your name and your picture to 478-752-1309, and we'll be sharing them right here on 13 WMAZ. Well, kickoff for the championship game is at 7:30 tonight, but ahead of the Dogs taking the field, we're taking a look back at their journey to get there. Join Marvin James and Connor Hines live from Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium along with Frank Malloy, holding down the fort here in Macon. We'll share stories of Central Georgians who traveled more than 2,000 miles to California to watch the game. Connor, who's from San Diego, breaks down some of that Cali culture. We talk about the history of the Frogs versus the Dogs, share well wishes from former players, and so much more. It's all happening today, so join us for our special UGA and LA show at 5:30 right here on 13 WMAZ. The time's now 6:38. Let's catch you up on your local morning headlines. Right now, Bibb County deputies continue to investigate the shooting of a teenager in South Macon. The sheriff's office says someone shot the 14-year-old around 7:30 last night. They got a call for a person shot in the parking lot of Lucky's Food Mart off of 2nd Street. The sheriff's office says someone shot the teen in the back. As of last night, he was listed in stable condition. Well, 2 people are dead after a single car crash Sunday afternoon on I-475 and I-75 split in Macon. Deputies say 57-year-old Mark Bruno of Albany was merging onto I-475 when he lost control of his car. 24-year-old DeAndre McGee, who was a passenger, died on the scene, and Bruno died at the hospital from his injuries. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office says 2 other people in the car will be okay. Right now, the crash is still under investigation. Well, this morning, 3 people are locked up after a car chase in Monroe County where deputies say the suspects were throwing stolen items out as deputies tried to catch them. The chase started Saturday during a traffic stop in Locust Grove. Officers were investigating an organized shoplifting ring. Monroe deputies joined Locust Grove in the chase near the High Falls Road exit on I-75, and deputies say they saw people in the car throwing stolen items out of the windows. The deputy conducted a pit maneuver near Johnstonville Road. The car lost control, ran off the road, and overturned. When deputies searched the car, they found over $4,000 worth of stolen goods from Tanger Outlet and other stores around the Locust Grove area. Closer to home, Galleria Cinemas in Centerville is closed this morning after a water main break closed the theater. On their website, the cinema says they will be closed for the foreseeable future after the city water main break. In the meantime, you can visit their House and Lakes location in Warner Robins. The Centerville Fire Department confirmed that they responded to the flooding, but right now they don't know what caused the break. A Warner Robins home is damaged after a fire Saturday night. You can see flames consume part of this home on Lazy H Lane. It left the garage destroyed and right side of the home damaged. The Warner Robins Fire Department says the fire started around 11:30 Saturday night and no one was hurt. They're still investigating what caused the fire exactly. The time is now 6:40 a.m. I'm sure there's some folks who might just be taking the day off of work, Alex, so that they can enjoy the day today and tomorrow, probably.
Probably tomorrow more than today, because the game's obviously at 7:30 tonight. That means we're not going to be finishing till like 11 something, and that means I will be running on very little sleep tomorrow here on the morning show, because I'm not going to miss that one. We are looking live not too far away from where SoFi Stadium is, the Santa Monica Pier. Just got some raindrops there on the lens. It is raining in Southern California this morning. Temperatures back here in Central Georgia. We got 50 in Macon, 49 at Warner Robins, 48 in Dublin, 49 in Perry, and 46 in Milledgeville. More 40s and 50s on the board. Looks like the coolest spot is Monticello at 42 right now. On the radar picture, we don't have anything here in Central Georgia, and through the day today, we're expecting temperatures to warm into the 50s rather quickly by the noon hour, topping off right around 60 or so, and then into the night tonight, some partly cloudy skies. This is 7 p.m., so this is kickoff of the national championship. Partly cloudy skies if you're watching it outside or if you're going anywhere. No weather concerns aside from a few clouds, and just the temperatures getting colder through the night, all the way down into the upper 30s for the overnight low, then rebounding into the mid 60s tomorrow afternoon. By the time we get to Wednesday morning, back down into the 30s area wide, and then we'll go a little bit warmer on Wednesday too. So going forward, each afternoon a little warmer than previous until we get our next front in here, which will come on Thursday, which we need to talk about here. So here we go, Thursday at 5 p.m. Notice the Euro moving a little faster than the GFS here. The GFS has this Knoxville, Chattanooga, Montgomery, whereas the Euro at this point has it Greenville, Macon, Albany. So a few hours of difference here, but what's changed here through the morning hours, I was looking over some of the severe weather parameters in the Weather Center. I think we actually do have somewhat of a threat of severe weather by the time we get to the end of the week, and so much so that the Storm Prediction Center has now outlined part of Central Georgia in an outlook area for day 4. Now, it's kind of unusual that we get these outlook areas in Central Georgia 3+ days out, so it's worth noting that parts of northwest Central Georgia, so say from Butler over to Fort Valley, Warner Robins, up to about Sparta, and areas to the northwest are in this outlook for Thursday. This shape will shift. As of now, this is the equivalent of like a level 2 risk already in place a few days out. So we're going to be watching this one closely as we get into Thursday afternoon and evening across Central Georgia. Again, a few days out to watch it, but as of now, I am concerned about a strong storm threat. Now, as Wanya mentioned, the governor declared it hunker down day here in Georgia. So a high temperature of 60 after starting off around 35 this morning, 0% chance of rain. Flip that over to LA. How about 100% chance of rain there? Overnight low of 57, warming a whole 3 degrees all the way to 60 out there. Then forward to the hour-by-hour forecast, kickoff is at 4:30 for them. Notice the rain chances increasing into the night tonight. So SoFi Stadium is covered, but it's not enclosed, so we'll have to watch and see how that affects things there in Southern California. Back here in Central Georgia, 30s this morning, 60s later on this afternoon. Great bus stop forecast, if you ask me, with clear skies all around. Here comes the 7-day forecast. So again, watching that storm threat on Thursday. As of now, we got that at 70%, and then by the time we get to the weekend, temperatures much cooler, high at 53 for Friday and Saturday.